Okay, I think we're all good audio-wise. Looks like it's up and online. So I will go ahead and start. So make sure I hit record. Let me make sure this is in the right format because the other day I recorded about an hour-long rant video on customer service, and there was no audio in it because it was set to some strange encoder setting, which is no good. So recording should be on MP4. Good, we're on MP4, and we're good to go. This setup is kind of annoying me now because it's too cramped. But it's still better than being over there. So we'll just go with it. So today we have a 2013 A1502 that does not turn on. If we plug in our charger, we can see that we get a green light in the charger, but it doesn't really turn on. The fan doesn't spin. It's not really pulling any booting current. It's only pulling about like 0.10 milliamps. And additionally, I unplugged the I/O port. So something really common on these A1502s, especially the older ones, is that the I/O board will stop it from turning on. I also unplugged the keyboard and the trackpad as well as the battery. Actually, let's unplug the battery. So if we unplug the battery, we see that amp draw does not change. So what that means is the battery is not being told to charge. That could be numerous things. And we'll get to that in a second. So if we see that the battery does not charge, it does not turn on. The CPU stays cold. There's no heat coming from the CPU, which is a good thing because if there's heat coming from the CPU when it's not turning on, that usually means a shorted high side MOSFET, and usually the CPU will die after that. So let's go ahead and take the board out of the enclosure and have a look at what's on the other side. I'm going to go ahead and pull this board out. Where's the screw holder for this thing? Here it is. And that screw just flew away. Here it is. I'm guessing this is a ISL issue. Because here's the thing, the battery not charging typically means even if you have, let's say, PM sleep S4L or VRTC missing or something like that, the battery will still charge, and the battery is not charging. So I'm guessing we're going to be missing PP bus or have a short on PP bus. Now, sometimes a short can affect the green light on PP bus, other times not. So we will get to that. Let's just pull the board out. I have to change my desk setup a little bit. Should be easier to solve. It should be easy to solve. It's a little bit cramped. I don't know why, because this is the same amount of space, and maybe it's just the way my mind perceives it. Kind of had a break last week and the week before where it was actually a lot slower. I think it was the first week pretty much since I moved into this office that I wasn't a week behind. I guess like around Christmas it was a little bit slow, but it was pretty much I just dropped my tweezers. It was almost kind of nice to have a little bit of a break. Of course, as long as it doesn't stay like that for too long. This is really clean. Yeah, this is really clean. Okay. Hopefully we can fix this. It would make me sad that couldn't fix this. And I'm doing the pre-recorded thing too, so if you see me repeating something, it's because I'm recording and streaming. So we have the motherboard. Wait. An error occurred while recording. Okay. Yeah, the PCH is dying in this computer and it's almost getting ready to fail. The USB works like half the time, so. We have the motherboard out of the laptop now, and we're going to take a look under the microscope. So let's switch to microscope view here, and let's have a look. So before jumping to anything, before measuring, I always like to give the boards just a general look over with the microscope and see if we see anything that jumps out at us visually. And let's just look. So my main area of concern here is going to be the ISL, and somebody screwed with the ISL. So you can see right here, we have Flux. Somebody's messed with that, and this is not going to be fun. Why you mess with ISL? Why must ISL be messed with? Oh well. So this could have very well had liquid damage, but now it has a screwed with ISL circuit. It had a little bit of coffee that got right there, if you could see that. And what does Q7130 look like? Everything looks good here. So a little bit of flux there, nothing too bad though. Okay, let's check some power rails. Better check my live chat. Oh wow, there's a lot. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and plug this board in out of the enclosure, and we're going to go ahead and measure PP-Bus G3 hot. So PP-Bus G3 hot, let's plug this in, have green light on the charger, measure PP-Bus G3 hot right here on these capacitors. And that's 12.2 volts, which is an SMC issue. So 12.2 volts could either be an SMC reset issue or an SMC issue. So a couple things can cause that. So first off, let's measure what SMC reset L is. So to find SMC reset L, we will go on the board view. This is an 820 3462, no, 3476 or 3435. They're both the same thing, just the RAM is different. Okay, we went ahead and opened a board view compatible with the 820 3476, and we are going to find where SMC reset L shows up. So SMC underscore reset L right here. Do a search. You can see that's going to show up on U5110. So U5110 is the generator for SMC reset L, and basically the purpose of SMC reset L is to keep the SMC in a reset state while the power rail is stabilized. So the main power rail we're going to be talking about here is PP3V42. If PP3V42 is not stabilized and the SMC tries to start, it will crash. So SMC reset L is going to show up on pin 5 of U5110 and on R5100. So let's go ahead and measure that. My charger died. My OEM Apple charger died. Oh well. We will use the aftermarket. So measuring SMC reset L, we get 3.38 volts, which means two things. So a lot of people will jump to say that the SMC is dead when you have that, but that's actually not the case. So how the SMC talks to the ISL is going to be through a couple of data lines here. So let's have a look here. They're going to be on pins 10 and 11, which are these SM bus data lines. Now, if one or both of these is shorted or not talking to the SMC, what will happen is you will get 12.16 volts, 12.23 volts, stuff like that. So we're going to check for We're going to check for a short to ground on both of these. So pin 11, which is right here. Let's go to the ISL actually. And that is going to be, let's see. Does not look like we have a short on either of these, which is no fun. So this is the third pin in. We have no short. And next one over, we have no short at all. And they're both very similar in the diode mode readings. So, with that being said, there could be an issue with our SMC. There could be junk under our SMC, or the ISL could be bad. So we could have a bad SMC. We could have, let me switch back to Amscope. So like I said before, we could have a bad SMC, we could have a bad ISL, or we could have mixture of the two. We never know. So this area was messed with. We can't really trust this after it's been messed with, so let's go ahead and put a new ISL on it. I do see SM bus, that is right, Christian. Okay, am I off of display capture? Yes. Alright, I need an ISL. That one is stolen. This one is not stolen. Alright. So we're going to go ahead and replace this chip. Add the proper amount of Amtech NC560 LFTF, which is a nice new flux mixture I'm using. And I will be selling this. I almost think this wasn't even replaced. I think this was just reflowed, honestly. I could tell that's lead-free solder. I think this was just reflowed, honestly. That doesn't work. Yeah, reflowing ISLs does not work. Don't reflow ISLs. Reflowing an ISL is not nice. Doesn't do anything either. Get some leaded solder in here. The leaded solder is of course going to help us wick away all the lead-free junk that we don't want there. Just like that. Put a tad more flux down. Actually, let's clean this up first. Make sure we get some nice, clean, fresh joints. And where's my alcohol? My alcohol has disappeared. As always. Everything always disappears. Let's clean that up. Put some fresh flux down. Put a little bit on the thermal pad. We don't really need too much. What brand Flux is that? This is Amtech NC560 LFTF, and we will be selling this as soon as it comes in. I think we should get this in Thursday in the 30cc tubes. I kind of like it better than 559, but you have to use both, honestly. You have to use both and then decide what's best for you. I could see some people saying they like 559 better. I could see some people saying they like 560 better. I like 560 a little bit better than 559, honestly. I think it's a very similar version. It's just loaded with rosin. That's kind of what you want, honestly. Okay, we have our new chip off the donor board here. Put a little bit more down. Place our chip. Come in with hot air. We're going to go to about 60% airflow. Kind of get it sort of aligned. Doesn't have to be perfect because it'll jump into place. Once it's sort of aligned, we heat. Once I know it's not going anywhere, like right now, I'll go ahead and increase my airflow. It's in place now. Heat for another about 10 seconds. Now it's dry. Touch up these pins as always. Looks good to me. Let's go ahead and clean this up. We're probably still gonna have 12.16 volts because it's a Monday, and yeah, that's what happens on Mondays. Because it's gonna be the SMC as always. So our ISL is nice and cleaned up. Cam is here. Brendan is here. To those in chat, need to stop arguing, or else they're gonna get a timeout. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and plug it in and see what happens. We still get no booting current. We'll give it a second. Let's measure PP bus again. So PP bus is measuring 11.19 volts. That doesn't sound 100% right. Now, when you get a low voltage like this on your ISL after replacing it, this is typically caused by voltage leakage. So a lot of people will leave flux around this chip and think it's going to work. It will not work properly without if there's flux around it. So this is something that gets a few. This has got me when before when I was starting. You have to clean this chip really good. anything around it can cause the voltage to be a little bit low. So I'm just going to heat the flux up to kind of burn some of it away. Actually, I'll spray this with a little bit of flux remover and go from there. I want an iPhone 4, says Steve. Come get an iPhone 4. Blasted the board off with a little bit of flux cleaner. No stream iPhone, Cam. No stream iPhone. iPhone is evil. iPhone is evil. No iPhones. I hate iPhones. What work ethic, Kenny? My work ethic is terrible. That's why I'm hiring someone to hopefully take over for a lot of the stuff I do here. Because I suck at work ethic. Don't be like Tim. Trust me. Tim doesn't want to replace an SMC, but Tim is going to have to replace an SMC. I already know it. Just how it works. To replace the darn SMC every single time. It always happens. It's always the darn SMC. Why must it always be the SMC? Every single time, the SMC. Does he stick them? Yes, everything's ultrasonic. Still no fan spin. What voltage do we get? What voltage do we get? Voltage. PP bus. 12.24 volts. Darn SMC is dead. Okay, so measuring PP bus G3 hot on these caps again. We get 12.24 volts, which means our SMC is dead. So, a lot of times we'll have corrosion under this. Now, this board came from another repair store. We don't know the history. There was some coffee damage, nothing too bad. There could be some junk under this, so I'm going to give this a reflow. It's kind of rare that this chip just dies out of nowhere. So I am going to go ahead and remove the glue from the side and give it a full reflow and go from there, because there could very well be some corrosion under that, and that can prevent our SM bus from communicating. So we're going to gently take off this edge bonding. We don't want to edge bonding us off. UPS delivery for Europe. Usually when I send stuff over there, I use the postal service priority mail, because it tends to be cheaper. So that may be an option. I could ship it UPS. I usually don't. I could do FedEx. I could definitely do FedEx to Europe. Alright, so I'm gonna put some flux around the chip. This. gonna wait till I see the chip move. So you'll see it start to dance a little bit when it is melted. Or not. There we go. I see it. Let it cool for a second. Oh, I'm an idiot. There's edge bonding under it. That's why I didn't dance. I'm an idiot. Yeah, if you have anything under here like this, it will not dance. So I have to take this out. No, Cam, we don't have to take it off. Just gonna try it real quick. .24 volts, we have a dead SMC. Wait, I didn't hit record. Okay, after reflowing the SMC, let's measure PP bus, and on PP bus we still get 12.24 volts, so we have a dead SMC. So we have to replace the SMC now. So the SMC is a 96 ball chip. It's kind of a pain to replace if you haven't done a lot of them. We're gonna go ahead and get this chip off the board. There should be enough flux under there to remove it cleanly. There we go. And there's actually some junk right there on those pins. I almost wonder if I should reball this instead. I don't know. Let's look at what this chip looks like. Wait, where'd it go? Just flew away. So there was some junk under here. This is the edge bonding left over. Yeah, I really doubt that's going to be the issue. It's probably going to be a dead chip, which happens. Actually, this was not edge bonding. Edge bonding does not act like that. And that's too far over to be edge bonding. That is junk. Yeah, that wasn't edge bonding. That was corrosion. Trying to get my scope to focus. Yeah, this was corrosion. This was not edge bonding. See how that ball is? See how that ball is all like destroyed? Yeah, rest in peace. I don't trust this chip. So we are going to grab a new one. This is an A1502 and let me go check for one of those. Caroline is here. So I am going to discard of this chip. By I mean discard, put it in a bag that says A203476 for the next person that comes along that may need an SMC. Let's see, I have 3476 with a question mark. So this, check this out. Where do you get new SMCs from? I don't get new SMCs. So, I have a bag that says 820-3476, question mark. 100% trustable. Okay, let's see which one of these is not delaminated or otherwise screwed up. So we have two of these guys here. This one is all bubbly, I think, and they're stuck. This one is nice and clean. So we're going to use this one. Okay, let's go ahead and clean up our so-called brand new SMC, which is clearly new, clearly not stolen from another board, clearly doesn't have Flux on it. It's clearly brand new right from the factory. Clearly. A++++ quality. All that old flux is cleaned up, or at least most of it. Let's go ahead and wick away some of this residual solder. I like to have the pads nice and clean and flat for when we reball it. So I'm going to clip a little bit of this wick away. And where are my darn wire cutters? My wire cutters are gone. Someone took my wire cutters. I moved them over here. By the way, people in chat, is the audio still doing that weird cutting in and out thing? Because I'm pretty sure I solved it. Cool. Sounds good. It still does. Probably because I walk close to the receiver. Okay, let's go ahead and wick this SMC. Make these pads nice and flat, free of any imperfections. Just like that, nice and clean. Nice and clean SMC. Now hopefully this thing isn't all burnt up because it's came out of that bag. Arnold, that's probably fine. Let's see, which... Yeah, that's all fine. I see no issues there. All that residual stuff is gonna go away. Where's my stencil? How I clean the stencils instead of ultrasonicing them, I just take the hot air and burn them. So I burn the stencil of all the flux and solder balls, they fly out at high pressure. Rob Brown is here. You'll still get an occasional few balls on there. Hi, Vladimir. I understand your pain, Rob. I'm trying to hire somebody this week. Because I'm finding that, one, I'm getting too snippy with customers, and it's not it's the customers that act dumb that I get snippy with, you know. The thing I can't stand is when people are either just lazy, and I'm not talking about end users. A lot of times stores will just be very, 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 very pushy. You know, you would think that end users are the worst offender with where's my update and stuff. No, stores are way worse on that matter. With the hounding for updates and stuff like that. And a lot of times stores act like their worst customers sometimes. You know, when a store is messaging me every day, where's any update? Yeah, that's, you know, that, no, go away. And in that manner, it's frustrating me, so I'm ready to hire a customer service person. And that customer service person can deal with those people. Because it is too frustrating for me. I don't get the logic of that. If there's you haven't got the invoice yet, what makes you think there's an update, you know? I don't do the kind of thing where, you know, it's like, okay, I'm replacing the SMC now, or I replaced the ISL, it still doesn't work. I'll update you when the new SMC is on. I don't do that. There's no time for that. And a lot of people will see Facebook is kind of useless in this manner. I made a post about, so let's say okay, so when I create a label, tracking gets sent out, is it really that rude for if a store says, you know, message says, where's my tracking? I say, I'll say I sent it. It's got sent to your email. Well, where's my tracking? I don't check my email. Is it really that rude to tell them that it was sent to their email and that's in their inbox? I mean, I don't get how that's rude. And yeah, everybody. I made a post about that on Facebook, and what happened was, a lot of people were just saying, "Well, that's absolutely rude. That's this and that. And if you do this, you shouldn't be in this business." And that's like, what? Get out of here. Unfriend, block, and yeah, delete Facebook account. Because I don't get that mentality of that. Maybe it is me, but for me, it's like there should be a little bit. If you're giving someone a discounted rate, see, the thing is, for an end user, I charge more because I expect that. But if you're getting a discounted rate, there should be an expectation that you're going to deliver less nonsense. You know what I mean? But then when I hire someone, I'm going to have to deal with is Tim there? Where's Tim? I want to talk to Tim. And yeah, Tim is occupied. Or Tim is not here right now. As much as I like to help people, I just don't. When people want to talk about their life for 30 minutes, and this has happened before where they want to know, how do I get started in this? And I try and be nice to them and I try and talk to them, but there comes to be a limit when I just don't have time. I don't have time to spend 30 minutes on the phone trying to help someone. What I think is if, some dumb kid that had no idea what he was doing, completely clueless about repair and about life, can figure out how to do this just off of Lewis's content, then I think everybody should be able to. Because Alright, I'm going to start recording again. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put some solder paste in the stencil. Make sure I get plenty in there. I think I'm good there. Clean this up a bit. We're going to lower our temperature. We don't want to cook these too much. We are going to go around 300. I like to have the balls form a little bit slower because if you go too hot, they'll tend to jump out, and I don't like that. So I'm going to go at about 10% air and 300 degrees Celsius. Let's let it get up to temperature. Once it's hot, I'll move in. I like to start far away and you'll start to see the flux melt. You don't really want to go in too quick. Just want a nice gradual heat. See one that may be screwed up, but that's okay. think that may be okay. Let it cool. Vladimir says 280 to 290 in low airflow, that flux in between particles will liquefy and not boil suddenly, right? Yes and no. It kind of sometimes will boil. I use 300 and 10% air to do this. 290 may not do it. 300 is pushing it on being a little bit too cold. Gonna lower our hot air to 100 now. And let's see how bad I screwed up. And I'm an idiot. Look at how bad this looks. This is terrible. How am I a technician? How am I even a technician? This is awful. Why am I allowed to fix boards? Why am I even allowed to fix boards here? I'm demoting myself. I need to be demoted. I deserve a demotion. I'm demoting myself to janitor. Tim is fired. No more board repair. In stream. No more board repair. I quit. I agree, Rob. I need to go to work at Walmart. Are these .30s or .35s? I think .35s. So I quit. I'm gonna go to work at Walmart after this board is done and find somebody that could read ball SMCs right. Okay, Cam, that works. Send your address for all my equipment. These are too small. Sonia's here. I need .40s. Wait, what's the stencil say? Oh, you know what? I could take the balls right out of here. And Sarah says, what number attempt is this? This is the second attempt because I screwed it up. As always. And I also fired myself from working here. So no more board repair. Stick, come on. Get off my tweezers. Who wants a job here? Because this is... I quit. Go into place. And we have 2 more. 1 there and 1 there. Makes it hard when there's flux on the tweezers, because then they run away. And where are my other pairs of tweezers? I had like 4 pairs of tweezers here, now they're all gone. They're all gone. It's like someone comes in here in the night and screws with my stuff and then leaves it in the morning. Darn hand, come on. Hate when my hand does this. Don't want to push too hard on these. And by the way, Nasser, how's your boards coming? Did you fix any of them yet? And I screwed up right here, big time. I'm making this chip worse. Look what I did. Let me know how those boards work out for you. Let me know if you make any progress on them. You will. I'm sure they're easy ones. They're just as easy as the boards that Paul gets, so you should have no issues there. Can only practice board repair on my days off work, I understand. But hopefully soon, you won't need to, you'll be fixing boards all the time. Never quit. I'm not gonna quit, Ed. I'm just joking. We need 1 more little ball. Let me see, do I have 0.40s? Here we go. Cam, you want to reball SMCs? You can reball SMCs here. Piernov, yes, you can reball A1534 CPUs. Oh yeah, this SMC we don't even know it works. That's right. I remember. Yeah, this SMC was in a bag with a question mark on it, so it probably doesn't even work. Let's see if we get fan spin. Let's take. All right, let's start taking votes in chat. Will this work? Will this questionable SMC work? Or will it not work? I'm happy my new Flux is coming. How is it possible to have fan spin with sys power good? You can have that. Okay, so Justin C, are you missing vCore? Are you missing vCore? Because you probably have. What board do you have? And are you missing vCore? Is my question. Yes, you can have fan spin with no all sys power good. Typically, what's going to be going on is you're going to have a short on a rail. 3115. Oh, that's going to suck. Start checking all your rails for shorts. I had watched the video on that MacBook Air I had. It's a 00165 with a short on PP5VS4 RS3. So I suggest you watch that video and then go from there. That could be a PCH though, I have a feel. Yeah, 3115. No liquid damage, probably PCH. Kenny, why try Discord when you can go here? So if you need help with the motherboard problem, do not hesitate to go to forum.tcrscircuit.repair, where you can find expert help provided by people that are smarter than me, like John Borelli and Piernov, for just 25 bucks a month. Look at this, 61 whole pages of questions. Amazing. This is where you can get board repair help. How not to get board repair help is by going on here and entering your contact information, because I will not reply. But this is where you can go for board repair help. Visit our support forum on TCRS Circuit, forum.tcrscircuit.repair, and I'll drop the link in chat too. I have a dumb question about ALSYS power good. How do I know what it's supposed to measure? That is going to be a PCH signal, and that will be 3.3 volts. So most of your PCH signals, or PM Sleep S4L, anything that comes from the PCH is generally going to be 3.3 volts. So yeah, anything that comes from your PCH, or any PCH signals, are going to be 3.3 volts, and that's going to come from PP3V3SO and PPV-RTC-G3 hot. That's what powers your PCH. Yes, like PM sleep signals, some enable signals can be 1.8 volts, but for the most part they're going to be 3.3 volts. Okay, here we go. Will the fan spin? Will the fan spin? Will the fan spin? Spin will fan. And what is that? That is fan spin. This MacBook is fixed. My questionable SMC worked somehow. And it's now pulling 4 point something volts. Oh, and let's see something. Will this work on the aftermarket charger now? Because on the OEM charger, because before it wouldn't work on the OEM, I had to use the aftermarket. What? Okay, will this work on the OEM charger? Yes, it does. This is fixed. And I forgot to hit record of soldering that SMC. Oh well. No pre-recorded video. But that fan is spinning. And we have a light in the charger now. This is fixed. So I will ultrasonic this, and this is going to go back to the customer. Another MacBook, saved from some moron at the Genius Bar. Or some moron that will reflow CPUs or something. And this is actually an Apple refurb board, and this is how I know. So the CPU has been replaced on this board by the factory, so this is how I kind of know. You can kind of tell if the CPUs have been replaced on these things if you see this. So you see this? See that discoloration near the CPU? Typically, that is when they replace them. You could kind of tell this may have been heated at one point, and this was definitely, this is a refurb board, so hopefully it works. Yeah, but it's no, the SMC died on a refurb board, that's no surprise. This is burned Flux from the refurb company that changes CPU on it. You can kind of tell that glue is a little bit shinier too. And on the side, can't really tell. You know what I'm thinking? You know that flux that was left over? I'm almost wondering if that was from the refurb company. And yeah, there was some near the backlight too. Some moron messed with the backlight. That's not aligned. I almost wonder if this was just refurb soldering here. Anyway, I won't screw with the backlight circuit. I'll note it in case it dies. And yeah, this is fixed. So, have a good day, everyone, and I will see you in the next one. Hopefully this week. I'm at the point where I'm sick of dealing with customer service and shipping, so hopefully this week I'll have somebody else here to do that kind of stuff. And with that, with shipping and stuff, I have to spend like sometimes 3 hours packing stuff. I really, really don't like packing stuff. It sucks. It takes time. So hopefully, if I am able to find someone that will work here this week, somebody else will be doing the packing and maybe even disassembly, reassembly, and that gives me full day to work on board. So maybe we'll be streaming more. I don't know. But other than that, thank you for watching. And